Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dear students, I am Fouzia Iqbal from Multan Public School and College. I am your biology teacher. We were discussing about permanent tissues, and now, as now today our topic is sport tissues. This is the third type of permanent tissues. Permanent tissues are those tissues which provide strength and flexibility to the plants. There are two types of spore tissues. One is known as collenchyma tissue and the other is known as sclerenchyma tissue. As you are told that spore tissues give strength and flexibility to the plant wheresoever they are present, and its types are collenchyma. Collenchyma are found in cortex beneath the epidermis of young stem. As we have already discussed that epidermis is the outermost skin of plants, different parts of the plants, and next to epidermis as cortex is present, so some of the cortex is having collenchyma tissues. Another part of the plant as leaf. In leaf, collenchyma is present in its midrib, and in plants petals, those are also having collenchyma tissues so that they can withstand the environmental factors like wind. If wind is blowing, they can withstand with that. Structure of collenchyma tissues. Cells are not round, these are elongated, but there are present uneven thickness in their primary cell wall. Cell wall is primary, but it is different from the cell wall of parenchyma tissues because it is having some thick areas in its different portions. It is flexible. Wheresoever collenchyma are present, that part of the plant is flexible. Flexible means that is not rigid, and its function is to support the organs in which they are present. Here you can see the diagram of collenchyma tissues, and red areas are showing the thick areas of cell wall, and here you can see the other part of the cell wall is not thick. You can see the nucleus and vacuole is also present, but the thick areas are showing that this tissue is different from the parenchyma tissue. Sclerenchyma tissue is the other type of spore tissues. Here the cells are rigid and wall is secondary wall. So now cell wall is not primary wall, it becomes secondary, and that is due to deposition of lignin, which is the main component of wood. Lignin is a non-living material which is discharged out from the cell, and it is deposited on the inner side of the primary wall, as we use the cement in some building on the bricks to make it more stronger. So here the lignin is deposited on the inner side of primary wall so that it becomes secondary wall, which is more strong and gives strength and support to the plant. And mature secondary sclerenchyma cells cannot elongate, means they are not growing anymore, and most of them are dead as the wall is secondary and nothing can pass inside and outside, and this results into the death of the cells. Here in this diagram you can see three types of tissues. First of all, on left side it is parenchyma tissue, and in the center it is collenchyma, and on very right side it is sclerenchyma tissues. So we can do comparison of these, that in parenchyma the cell wall is very thin and it is primary, there is no deposition of any material. In the middle it is collenchyma, it is having deposition on some areas of cell wall. Still the cell wall is primary, but it is having deposition or thickening in some areas. And at the end on right side it is sclerenchyma, and sclerenchyma has thick secondary wall due to deposition of lignin, which is a non-living material, and it is going to make it dead cells. Here again you can see sclerenchyma. Sclerenchyma is having thick cell wall due to deposition of lignin, and it is making it secondary wall, and here you cannot see nucleus, so it is dead cell. This is the end of sport tissues. Now the next tissue is compound tissue. Compound tissue are also called complex tissues. A plant tissues composed of more than one type of cell is called complex or compound tissues. Previously the tissues what we have discussed, those are having only single type of tissues, so those are known as simple tissues, but these are compound tissues because it is having more than one type of cells. Its examples are xylem and phloem. These are also known as vascular tissues. So the plants which are having xylem and phloem tissues, those are known as vascular plants, and those plants which are not having xylem and phloem, those are known as non-vascular plants. Xylem tissues are responsible for transport of water and dissolved salts, and these are again having secondary wall due to deposition of lignin. As I have already told you, when lignin is there, cell wall becomes secondary wall and it provides sport. It becomes sporting tissue also. So here we can say that xylem tissues are having two responsibilities, two functions are there. One is conduction of water and dissolved salt, and other is to give sport to the plants. There are two types of cell in xylem tissues. Number one, xylem vessel, or it is also known as vessel element or vessel cells, and the other type of cell which is present in xylem tissue, that is known as tracheids. Here you can see the structure of xylem vessels, which are also known as vessel elements on left side. On the in the upper region you can see that small structures are joined to each other in the form of long pipe, and here you can see that there are present holes which are called here pits, those are present. So these small pipes are joining with each other, which are known as vessel elements, and these are going to make long pipes which are carrying water from the roots to the stem and then to the leaves. The other component of xylem are tracheids, which is shown here. These are the tapering cells. At the end you can see that ends are tapering, and when these are present in the form of bundles, these are overlapping on each other. Here again the same type of picture is shown you, and that vessel members or vessel element is there, and tracheids are also shown here. Again these are having pores or pits on them. The other type of compound tissue is known as phloem tissue. Phloem is responsible for the conduction of dissolved organic matter, means food. So it is responsible for the movement of water, which is movement of food which is prepared in leaves, and then it is transferred to the all parts of the plant. Again, as it is a complex tissue, it is compound tissue, it is having two types of cells. Number one is sieve tube cells, and the other is known as companion cells. In this figure you can see on the right side phloem is shown you, and these are again pipe like structures by joining sieve tube cells. So sieve tube cells having thick walls, and those are joined end to end, and these are having end walls with sieve plates. You can see here that there is a porous plate, and this plate is having many holes. This is known as sieve plate, and due to this sieve plate, these are known as sieve elements or sieve tube cells. It is also called like that. And along with that, the other component is known as companion cells, which makes protein for the sieve tube cells. So sieve tube cells function is to transport food, and this function is being helped out by companion cells, which are shown you on very right side, where you can see the nucleus also. So these are going to help out the sieve tube elements or sieve tubes by providing it proteins. Here again you can see the comparison of xylem vessels and phloem tissues, phloem vessels. In xylem vessel you can see that water is moving in the upward direction, while in phloem vessel the food is moving in the upward direction and also in the downward direction. Now some homework is to be assigned to you. As it is the end of your chapter number 4 is completed. So you are to attempt MCQs of exercise from your book, and you will draw all diagrams from your notebook, especially these diagrams of xylem, phloem and spore tissues like collenchyma tissues and sclerenchyma tissues, and you will learn all topics. Thanks.